6 rounds of welterweight action on our way. Mick Mclaughlin from nearby Dorchester, Massachusetts, originally from Donegal, Ireland, wearing the white trunks, taking on Rafael Francis, who will be wearing the blue trunks, hails from Brockton, Massachusetts. Mick Mclaughlin, a former Irish national amateur champion, and naturally, Danny has found a home here in Irish-heavy Boston and has found himself a good fan base.
Yeah, there's a big Irish community here, and as you can tell from the applaud, he has a lot of fans here. You know, those Irish really love their boys, so he's probably the favorite here, definitely.
Mclaughlin enters this fight with a record of 9 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Actually fought to a draw in his pro debut and is 8-1 since. His lone loss he has avenged. Rafael Francis, his opponent in the blue trunks, enters this fight with a record of 0-3. A bit of a deceptive 0-3, though. His 3 losses came competitively. A majority decision loss to Freddie Sanchez, who had national amateur experience. Got knocked out in 1 round by Lamont Roach, who is hailed as many as a future world champion and Olympian himself. And in his most recent fight, went the distance in a hard-fought losing effort to Carlos Candelero, a good local prospect. So one thing we know about Rafael Francis, not afraid to take fights, not afraid of Mick Mclaughlin.
Yeah, and he's a game fighter, too. He's coming out throwing punches. He's being first. He's not waiting on Mick. You know, I don't believe that he's scared or he's not giving Mick any respect. He's coming out and he's working, and that's what you like to see because this fight's going to turn out to be pretty competitive, I can see.
You can tell a lot about fighters by who is in their corner, and
bit dirty now. It's a little bit. I think it was a headbutt off the original and then a punch, and that definitely should be a point off because that, you know, that's you can't hit on the break. When a fighter is on break and he puts his hands down and you punch him in the face, it's over.
Do we have a disqualification? So a headbutt followed by a punch on the break, and it appears that our referee Jackie Morrell is disqualifying Rafael Francis here in round 1. Now, I want your thoughts on this as a fighter, Danny, whether you be the guy being headbutted or the guy doing the headbutting. Do you like the disqualification without any warning, or is it so blatant you felt that it's a necessary disqualification?
It was a pretty blatant headbutt, but even more blatant was that straight right to the face of a not willing Mick, and you know, it's a tough situation because, yeah, no one in the fans, the crowd wants to see that, but the ref is in there for a reason. He has to do his job, man, and he's in there, and, you know, if he has to be the bad guy, fine, but, you know, he's there for a reason. There are rules in the sport, and he's there to officiate and to call the rules, so you can't be mad at him for it.
Jackie Morrell, the referee, is a fine official. You just look at it from this perspective. Mick Mclaughlin, he's not going to be satisfied with that win. His fans aren't going to be satisfied with that win. And it's going to look unique on paper when fans look and see a first-round DQ. Do you think that he made the right call, or do you think that he maybe should have given Francis a hard warning and a point deduction and let it continue, or do you think that, no, it was out of hand early?
Well, I don't know exactly what was going on because it didn't look like he was going for the disqualification right away. It looked like when he was bringing him into the corner to warn him and maybe take a point off, it looked like there was some sort of interaction between the two that made him then choose to disqualify him. And I don't know what it was, but, you know, I'm disappointed because someone like Francis is a fighter, and you need to take your emotion out of it. To let yourself get to that point where you're angry enough to headbutt and to throw a punch that's uncalled for, I mean, come on, man. Be a pro.
Folks like us who grew up watching Mike Tyson pay-per-views will remember that Tyson Holyfield continued after Holyfield's ear was bitten for a little while longer. So, you know, the referee does have some discretion inside the ring. It's a judgment call, and Jackie Morrell opted to disqualify Rafael Francis after the headbutt and the punch on the break. 2 blatant fouls, but it's going to be a DQ1 win for Mick Mclaughlin. We'll get the official particulars momentarily from our ring announcer, John Vina.
What I don't understand is, see, there was a blatant headbutt, right? But then there was no retaliation that I saw from Mick, and then there was another punch. So I don't know what caused him to lose his emotions like that and to cross the line, but, you know, he paid the price for it. There's no one to blame but himself.
1 minute, 13 seconds into round 1 is when the fight is stopped via DQ. How's this theory? Maybe he knew that Mick Mclaughlin was the more skilled of the 2 fighters and wanted to take that skill away from Mick Mclaughlin by making it a rough and dirty fight.
I mean, there's a way to make a fight rough and dirty, and that's blatantly crossing the line of illegal.
Well, the result is what it is, a DQ win for Mick Mclaughlin, 1 minute and 13 seconds into round 1.